Have you ever been there? Standing in the wreckage of a project, a relationship, or a personal goal. Asking yourself, why is this so impossibly hard? If you have, you're not alone. And the answer might not be what you think. Much of the reason why we give up far too soon, fall into despair, and abandon our projects isn't simply because they're hard. That's a given. The real reason is because they are far harder than we ever expected them to be. It isn't the difficulty itself that sinks us. It's the gap between our expectations and reality. It's our flawed, often dangerously romanticized ideas about what a noble task should legitimately demand of us. We walk into life's greatest challenges armed with the wrong map. A map that shows a smooth, paved road when the actual territory is a dense, untamed wilderness. We operate with these dangerously inadequate views of what it truly takes for anything good to happen. We see the mountaintop, but we conveniently ignore the treacherous climb. We dream of the harvest, but forget the back-breaking labor of tilling the soil, planting the seeds, and battling the weeds and pests, day in and day out. Think about it. We underestimate what it might take to have a moderately good relationship. We see the anniversary photos on social media, but we don't see the difficult conversations about finances, the compromises on parenting styles, the nights spent sleeping on the couch after an argument, or the sheer effort of choosing to love someone even when you don't particularly like them in that moment. We underestimate what it takes to run a more or less viable business. We read the success stories in magazines, but we don't see the 3 failed ventures that came before it. The sleepless nights worrying about payroll, the gut-wrenching moment of firing a friend, or the thousands of no's from investors and customers. We underestimate what it takes to have a circle of friends, to be healthy, to build a home, or to achieve a balanced mind. Each of these is a monumental undertaking, filled with its own unique set of tedious, frustrating, and painful requirements. And so, what happens? When reality inevitably hits, we lose our tempers. We cry. We scream. And we feel cheated. We perceive these struggles as great injustices, as cosmic punishments singled out just for us. But in reality, there are only encounters with the entirely reasonable and predictable degrees of pain that accompany any meaningful pursuit. The pain isn't the problem. The feeling that we shouldn't be in pain is the problem. Imagine if we did things differently. A wiser society than our own would include a weekly class in every school curriculum, perhaps titled Hell, Your Future. A provocative name. Yes. But an honest one. This class wouldn't be about scaring children. It would be about arming them with the truth. It would systematically introduce young people to the necessary degrees of suffering, boredom, and frustration required by any worthwhile life. The first lesson might be called The Mundanity of Genius. We'd show them that the great novel wasn't born in a flash of inspiration, but was the product of 10,000 hours of agonizing revisions and hundreds of discarded pages. The beautiful symphony involved countless hours of tedious scale practice. The scientific breakthrough was preceded by a decade of failed experiments. We would come to understand that we make people strong not by enchanting them with fairy tales of a life full of endless opportunities and effortless success, but by being brutally, compassionately honest about how things tend to actually go. It isn't cute or kind to educate young people for a world that doesn't exist. It's a form of negligence. In our Hell, Your Future class, We would invite guest speakers. Thrice-married couples would address the young on the profound, often painful complexities of long-term love and forgiveness. Cancer survivors would deliver lessons not just on the preciousness of time, but on the soul-crushing exhaustion of treatment and the mental fortitude it takes to face one's own mortality. Artists and entrepreneurs would testify to the huge yet vital sacrifices, the missed holidays, the strained relationships, the financial insecurity required to produce results that, from the outside, look easy and glamorous. No young person would be left under the slightest illusion that fulfilling moments demand anything less than tremendous effort, and at times, even torment. And armed with this knowledge, they would be in a far better position to one day attain those good things. They wouldn't quit at the first, second, or 10th sign of trouble, because they would know that trouble is not a detour. It is the path itself. This brings us to the nature of wisdom. Wise people keep going not because they are inherently braver or more talented. They keep going because they have learned to be profoundly better prepared. Their resilience is a skill, cultivated through experience and a deliberate shift in perspective. They know that defeat and humiliation are not freakish punishments from an uncaring universe. They are unavoidable, even necessary, events on the path to growth and success. They are data points, not verdicts. A wise person, at the close of every quiet day where nothing catastrophic happened, and take it for granted. They wonder, with a sense of gratitude, why more hasn't gone wrong. They succeed on the basis of fully, calmly, and strategically expecting everything to be just about as hard as it is probably really going to be. This mindset isn't about pessimism. It's the ultimate form of strategic optimism. It is the practice of building a foundation so strong, so rooted in reality, that it can withstand the inevitable storms. When you accept and even anticipate the struggle, you rob it of its greatest weapon, the power to surprise and derail you. You transform fear into fuel, anxiety into action, and impatience into perseverance. The reward for this perspective is not a life without problems. That is a fantasy. The real reward is a life where you become more powerful than your problems. It is the quiet, unshakable confidence that comes from knowing that whatever comes your way, a setback, a betrayal, a failure, you have the strength, the preparation, and the wisdom to face it. You can look it in the eye and say, I expected you. Now, let's see what you have to teach me. It's about finding beauty not just in the destination, but in the grit and tenacity of the journey. It's the quiet victory of lacing up your running shoes on a cold, dark morning when you'd rather stay in bed. It's the silent pride of rewriting a paragraph for the 20th time until it's finally right. It's the deep connection forged with a partner after navigating a crisis together. These are the moments that build a life of genuine meaning and purpose. If this message resonates with you, if you're tired of being knocked off course by the unexpected hardships of life and want to explore more ideas for building a resilient and meaningful future, please consider subscribing to our channel. We're dedicated to navigating these profound truths together. Thank you for watching.